That one is damp, said Tobias as he ruffled one coat in particular. What is its ticket number? Asked Dieter. Good thinking, replied Tobias. Number 23, he added. Dieter nodded solemnly in response. Maestro's eyes focused on something strange across the room. An innocent-looking man that was moving towards a back room had pulled a brown leather glove back to reveal the back of his hand, the skin of which was tattooed with the symbol of Slaanesh. Maestro's heart began beating faster as another man waiting at the exit saw this and gave the first man an envelope. He then went through the opened door and disappeared into darkness on the other side. Maestro hurriedly told the others what he had seen, and it was soon decided that he and Dieter should proceed after the man on Dieter's insistence. The other two were forced to agree and decided they would keep checking the coats. Whoever owned them will have been out in the rain last night and for some reason had decided to stay at the club, perhaps laying low, thought Tobias. As they approached the door the man had left through, Dieter whispered to Maestro out of the side of his mouth. Stop looking so nervous. You'll blow our cover. Maestro for a moment looked even more nervous and then corrected himself appropriately. The security guard waiting at the door hadn't believed it, but laughed to himself. He was used to seeing nervous nobles entering this area. He gave them a nod. Both men nodded back politely, as was expected of them, they thought. Dieter opened the door and was surprised to see a short passage that ran on for perhaps only 6 feet before ending in a black velvet curtain that went all the way down to the richly carpeted floor. Dieter gestured with his hand as if to say, "Come on," and pushed through the curtain. Maestro followed with much trepidation. In that cramped space, both men had realized that the other had about them a curious smell, hard to identify but unlike anything either of them had known before. As Maestro pulled the curtain back, he saw Dieter already walking into the room, unbothered by the half-naked women walking around him. The patrons weren't likely to notice him either, with their eyes firmly being elsewhere. Dieter quickly moved forwards and took a half-full glass of some orange-coloured drink from an empty table, so that he would have a prop in hand to blend in with. Maestro kept his distance from Dieter, knowing that if they split up, they would stand out less. He tried his best not to look at the topless women spinning seductively around the poles on stage, to music provided by a band of miscreant weasel-faced traveller types. The man they had seen previously was over by a corner talking to a second man, smiling enthusiastically. Dieter was closer to them, but his eyes were fixed down and away, somewhere near the floor. Even though it would have been out of earshot for most people, Dieter was able to overhear some of the conversation, a particularly skilled ability at hearing that he decided he wouldn't share with anyone else. Yet, Maestro was watching the men, and trying his hardest to understand what they were saying. He had managed to lip-read several phrases. Temple of Verena and Today were two in particular that caught his attention. Soon after, the two men left the room together. A short while after they departed the room, Maestro and Dieter made eye contact and established at a distance that they also should leave now. Upon getting back to the rest of the group, they confirmed that the two men had passed through the bar area and left out through the front door. Dieter mentioned that he had overheard them talking about demons and that today was the day. Maestro quickly compared this to what he had been able to lip-read. Finally, Tobias explained that he had found a second damp coat. It had the number 76 on it. He quickly referenced these numbers against the visitor's logbook as Dieter and Maestro kept the bookkeeper busy, and they found that the login times were suspiciously late last night. What really did it, though, was when he turned the page and saw that the two men who had logged their coats out just now were numbers 23 and 76. The entire group walked outside, where a concerned-looking Rysandria was remaining inconspicuous across the street by standing underneath a fruit and vegetable shop's canvas roofing, protecting the stalls set up outside and bathing the area in a lot of shadow. Rysandria quickly made her way to the others and surprised them all by speaking first. "Those two men who just left, I know them. They are members of the cult of Verena." The others looked surprised but grateful for this knowledge. It confirmed that the information they had learnt pieced together in a way that was suspicious. They realized as one that they should investigate the Temple of Arena at once. Tobias stated as much, and there were no objections. They set off immediately, with Rysandria showing them the way.